Hey guys, it's Bobi, aka Paginator, and we might as well buckle up because this is going to be a long book haul. I'm going to be showing you, I think I got 15 or 16 books today, something in that neighborhood, and I'm also going to be talking about an artist workshop that I got to attend today as well. Alright, so I traveled to Salt Lake City and attended a vintage collage workshop. We spent like 2.5 hours just making art, cutting up old magazines and things, and collaging. And we had a really great teacher, Bree, and she gave us prompts to work with, and it was just really fun and just lovely to sit with like a small group of people. There were like, was there 6 people in the class and the instructor, and we just like pulled apart magazines and collaged with them, and it was really fun. Uh-oh, someone's texting me. So let's go out to the living room and I'll show you the collages that I made, and then we'll come back in here to talk about books. Okay, so after the artist workshop, I went to the King's English, which I have spoken about before on this channel quite a bit. It is an independent bookstore in Salt Lake City, and it's been around since like the 70s, I believe. And it has been female owned up until the pandemic. A new owner came in, a gentleman, and bought the store. But it's run by the most wonderful group of people. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Mackenzie Lee, who wrote the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue in that series. She also works there, or did the last time I checked their website, which wasn't that long ago. Okay, so let's start with the books from the King's English. So the author that was there was Kayla Cottingham, and she is a young adult author and also a librarian. She's from Boston, and she, her new book is this, Delicious Death. You can see the cooler on the front, that's important. And the tagline says it's a girl eat girl world. This is, taking place, after a pandemic that has swept the nation. And we have 4 girls who are best friends. 2 of them are queer, I think. Or was it all of them? I can't remember. But anyway, they are what's called ghouls in the book. They're not zombies, but because they've been affected by this pandemic, which is called the Halloween, they have this like hollowed out thing where they're no longer able to eat regular people food, like meat, vegetables, fruit, grains, etc. that we eat. So what they prefer to eat is human flesh. And it's kind of like COVID in that like you could have 2 people existing in the same house and one would get infected with the Halloween and others would not. And so one of our characters is a trans girl who grew up in a very religious household and is suffering from some religious trauma, and she's been told that the Halloween is something that's someone else's problems, not ours. And like, we're just good little Catholics and we're just gonna toe the line and we won't get sick. And so she's like trying to hide the fact that she's got it from her family. She's like the love interest of the main character. And gosh, I really don't have time to go into all these details, but I will say in this world, there has been something made called synth flesh, which is synthetic human flesh that these ghouls can eat instead of eating actual humans. So that's part of the story. And the author, Kayla, she, her parents live in Salt Lake City. That's where she grew up. And so she was at their house and she made some synth flesh, like you could take some, and it was just Rice Krispie treats dyed red. That's all it was. I didn't end up taking any because my stomach wasn't feeling the best, and there were lots of people, and I thought, oh, I'll leave it for them. She had this cute sticker that said synth flesh on it, and I grabbed one, and I thought I had tucked it in the book, but now it seems to have flown away. Hopefully I'll find it in my purse or something later on. But again, that is This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. This is her 2nd book. Also at the King's English, they spoke to us about their nonprofit organization, which is called Brain Food Books. And this is an organization that their store runs, and when they have authors come to town, and they think that those authors are a good match for a Title I school in the area, and there's tons of schools in the Salt Lake Valley, just tons. They'll take that author to that school, and then every kid there in the class or group or whatever that the author speaks to gets a free book. It's just a really beautiful thing that they do. And one of the ways that you can support is by going to their website, which I will link below, which is brainfoodbooks.org. And you can support there. And then outside of the bookstore, they have a cart with like blind date books that you can purchase, and then you just pay what you can afford. So I have picked up blind date books from their cart before. I didn't realize what they were doing with the money, what Brain Food Books was doing, until the gentleman explained it today. And it's such a beautiful thing. I work at a Title I school, and I know how precious it is for a child to have their own book. It's something that they will never ever forget. And I think that's just beautiful. So I wanted to pick out a couple of books from the cart. And I have two. So you can just pick out the ones you want and then pay through Venmo however much you want to pay. So I tried to give a generous price for what I had picked up. I have two paperback books, and I haven't unwrapped them yet. I wanted to do that on camera for you guys. So this one says Big Tech, Big Money, and Murder. This thriller is set in San Francisco, and who is going to solve the mystery? An English professor, of course. I'm guessing it's going to be an adult thriller, which is fine because I can read books for adults every once in a while. And what does it say? Okay, so this is A Strange Habit of Mind. Andrew Klavan is the author. Oh my gosh, this is an arc. It's not like a recent arc because the book went on sale in October of last year. Technically, you're not supposed to sell arcs, but I think that since this is for charity and a good cause, and it was probably just something that the bookstore got, they probably get sent arcs all the time. Like the spine isn't cracked, it's not used. I wouldn't care if it was. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna read the back. Now, I didn't read the back of the last one because I learned a lot about the book, but for the rest of the books in this haul, I am gonna be reading the back or the description on the dust jacket, if it's a hardcover, and it's gonna be a lot of book synopses. I hope you're in for the ride. So here we go. A Strange Habit of Mind. The world of big tech is full of eccentrics, but shamanic billionaire Gerald Byrne may be the strangest of the bunch. The founder of a global social media platform, Byrne is known for speaking with vaguely spiritual profundity. He is universally admired as a visionary, a philanthropist, a devoted family man, and every person who gets in his way seems to die. After a former student commits suicide, English professor and ex-spy Cameron Winter travels to San Francisco to investigate, troubled by an inconsistency in the days leading up to Adam Kemp's fatal plunge. Then he learns of the young man's tumultuous relationship with Byrne's niece and begins to suspect that the suicide was a result of a carefully engineered plot put in motion by the powerful businessman. Holy cow. So this is from a mystery series. It says a Cameron Winter mystery. So this character is going to investigate other mysteries through the series, I'm certain. So if I enjoy this one, I'm going to have to give this series a goog and maybe check out some of the other books. Okay, I think that was good for a mystery book. Oh, by the way, the reason I have this thing on my wrist is after my book shopping was done, I went to a Michael's craft store and I was pushing a cart around the store in case I found things I wanted to get. I didn't end up buying anything there, probably because of what happened. I don't know exactly how this happened because when you injure yourself, sometimes it's kind of weird how it happens and you're not sure, especially when you're old. But something happened and I sprained my wrist. It actually hurts quite a bit and I'm hauling books today, which is not great. Books are heavy. Anyway, I've got this stabilizer on, just to help me not injure it more. Let's go to the second blind date book, and it is very skinny, actually. It says, summer is coming soon. You might want to add this to your reading list. Summer adventure with a girl who has lost her father, but she is sure he is coming back. This is middle grade, immigration, and loss. I've been in the mood to acquire some middle grades lately, so this is good news. And what is this book gonna be? The River Between Hearts. So the title is in white here, so it's a little bit hard to see with the way that the camera's picking it up. At least in the viewfinder, I'm having a hard time seeing it. The author is Heather Mateus Sappenfield. Let's read the back. On an ordinary Monday, Rill Cruz left for 3rd grade with a dad, but when she came home, he'd been stolen by a river. 1 year and 13 days later, on the first morning of summer vacation, Rill still insists he's trudging home. Her mom has become a practical woman. Her older brother Eddie now calls her baby and dork. Gus, second in command at Cruz Whitewater Adventures, her family's rafting company, has gone from being her dad's risk bro to her mom's guardian angel. Joyce, company secretary, arm wrestler, and mechanic, still calls Rill a fingerling, but after learning what a cheater water is, Rill wishes she'd stop. When Rill's cat Clifford leads her to the family tree fort on the mountainside behind home, she embarks on an adventure that tests her understanding of the world, loss, and friendship. Along the way, she finds she cannot trust her mouth or her fists, yet the knowledge Rill discovers nudges her, and although she loved, toward healing. Well, this might be an emotional one. I've already been kind of emotional today. After I got home from my trip, I texted my sister to see how her kids had done at a rodeo they were competing in, and she called me, and there were some things going on that we cried over. Okay, I have got to stop crying. Okay, let's do some more book hauling. Okay, where did I go after the King's English? Okay, so I went to Barnes & Noble in Sugar House, which is my favorite Barnes & Noble. It has an escalator that goes up to the YA section. It's like you're entering a magical place. It's lovely. And I went there with a couple of books in mind, but mostly I just wanted to browse and see what called out to me. I don't know if I was in kind of a weird headspace or what exactly happened, but I only picked out 3 books. I know. What's wrong with me? We're going to start with this one, which is The Swifts. So this one I heard Alexandra Roslin, Lexi, talking about, and it sounded really cute. It is a middle grade by Beth Lincoln. And it says, on the day they're born, every Swift child is brought before the Sacred Family Dictionary. They're given a name and a definition. A definition it is assumed they will grow up to match. Meet Shenanigan Swift, little sister, risk taker, mischief maker. I have a niece that could be called Shenanigan. And a nephew too. Just name both of them Shenanigan. Shenanigan is getting ready for the big Swift family reunion and plotting her next great scheme, hunting for Granduncle Vile's long-lost treasure. She's excited to finally meet her arriving relatives until one of them gives Arch Aunt Schadenfreude a deadly shove down the stairs. What an emotional roller coaster I'm on. Oh my gosh. But I mean, Aunt Schadenfreude. Oh, that she must be a delightful person. Oh goodness. Schadenfreude, if you don't know, is a German word, and if I am correct, it means like having pleasure at other people's misfortune. All right, let's keep reading. So what if everyone thinks she'll never be more than a troublemaker just because of her name? Shenanigan knows she can become whatever she wants, even a detective, and she's determined to follow the twisty clues and catch the killer. This just seems like it's going to be so much fun. And it's always good to have books that you think are going to make you laugh, especially if you know that, there's some hard times happening or, things like that. The next book I picked up, it just kind of caught my eye as a graphic novel, and the spine actually caught my eye. So I'm going to show you that first. If I can get my camera to want to show it to you. Okay, so the title of this is On a Sunbeam, and this is volume 1. It is by Tilly Walden. Here is the front cover. It is quite chunky. Here's just like a sneak peek of some of the pages. We'll just kind of randomly flip so you can see the art style. And the synopsis tells us, A restoration crew travels to the deepest reaches of space, rebuilding beautiful, broken structures to piece the past together. Two girls meet in boarding school and fall deeply in love, only to learn the pain of loss. With two interwoven timelines and stunning art, award-winning graphic novelist Tilly Walden creates an inventive world, breathtaking romance, and an epic quest for love. And the third book that I picked up there was Chaos and Flame. It is by Tessa Grattan and Justina Ireland. And this has dragons in it. Okay, so I'm going to have to hold these up and then read the words to you. So get a good look. We've got a dragon here, a kraken here. And then it says, House Dragon, defend the horde with strength and fury. House Kraken, fair winds and following seas. Then in the back of the book, we've got more creatures. We have a cockatrice and then a bagrest. And the cockatrice says, beauty above all. And House Barguest, loyalty is the foundation. Is this a Hogwarts house situation we've got going on here? I don't know. Let's read the synopsis. Darling Seabrake cannot remember anything before House Dragon murdered her family, but she knows she owes her life to the power of her Chaos Boon and House Kraken for liberating her from the sewers where she spent her childhood. When her adopted father is captured, Darling vows to save him, even if that means killing each member of House Dragon. Talon Goldhoard is a dutiful war prince for House Dragon and his brother, the High Prince Regent, but lately his brother's erratic rule threatens the House Dragon's power and factions are turning to Talon to unseat him. Talon resists until he is ambushed by a fierce girl who looks exactly like the one his brother has painted obsessively for years, and Talon knows she's the key to everything. That's interesting. Together, Darling and Talon are caught in the complicated game the High Prince Regent is playing against everyone. The unlikeliest of allies, they have to stop fighting each other long enough to learn to fight together in order to survive the fiery prophecies and ancient blood magic threatening to devastate their entire world. Oh boy. That seems very intriguing and yeah. I'm excited to see like what the deal is with all these houses and like, is it like houses as part of a governmental system, as an educational system, as like a magical system? Like what's it gonna be? Okay, so after that store, I knew that I had to hit another Barnes & Noble because I promised one of my students that I would pick up another copy of this book right here. Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman is the sequel to Scythe. And the 8th graders just finished reading that in their reading class, and a bunch of them wanted to read the sequel. And I had one girl, like between the library and myself, the other teachers, like all our copies got checked out, and she was just brokenhearted. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bookstores this weekend. I'll get another copy. So I did pick this one up. If you're not familiar with the Scythe series, it begins with Citra and Rowan, who are chosen to become Scythes in this dystopian world. All manners of death have been cured. Like you can throw yourself off the building and they'll cure you. So injuries, illnesses, like everything. And in order to control the population, there are certain people known as Scythes who have to kill people. They have like a quota that they're supposed to reach based on like statistics and like all that stuff. And it's quite the series. That's my favorite ever dystopian series. So well written. Shortly before the pandemic hit, I was supposed to go to an author event at the King's English and meet Neil Shusterman, and then of course it got canceled. So that's unfortunate. Anyway, picking this one up for that young lady to read, and I'll take that to school with me on Monday. And then I kind of went crazy. Some of the books I got were buy one get one 50% off, and then other ones I just got regular price. I had set aside some money to do this. I think I was okay. Anyway, we're just gonna dive into the books. So I have some middle grade and some YA, and I'm gonna try to separate the middle grade ones out and do those first. Okay, so I think I've got them separated between middle grade and YA. So we'll start with City Spies by James Ponti. This is the first in the City Spies series that has been out for quite a while. I was recently strongly recommended to read this one. It says, Sarah Martinez is a hacker. She recently broke into the New York City foster care system to expose her foster parents as cheats and lawbreakers. I can tell you stories about the foster care system. I used to work as a mentor. That's stories for another day. However, instead of being hailed as a hero, Sarah finds herself facing years in juvenile detention and even worse, banned from using computers. Enter Mother, a British spy who offers her a way out of her current problem and the chance to make a home for herself within a top-secret MI6 agency. Operating out of a base in Scotland, the city spies are 5 kids from various parts of the world. When not attending the local boarding school, they are honing their unique skills such as sleight of hand, breaking and entering, observation, and explosives. Jumping right into the action, Sarah soon finds herself taking her computer savvy to Paris for an international youth summit, hacking into a rival school's computer to prevent them from winning €1 million, dangling 30 feet off the side of a building, and trying to stop a villain, all while navigating the complex dynamics of her new family. No one said saving the world was going to be easy. So as I said, this is a series, so if I enjoy this one, I may pick up the next ones in the series. And here is the Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Nobel. It says, beware the order of Black Hollow Lane. With a dad who disappeared years ago and a mother who's a bit too busy to parent, Emily is shipped off to Wellsworth, a prestigious boarding school in England where she's sure she won't fit in. Before she leaves, Emmy finds a box of mysterious medallions in the attic of her home. Medallions that belong to her father who may have gone to Wellsworth. When she arrives at school, she finds strange symbols from the medallions etched into walls and books, which leads Emmy and her new friends, Jack and Lola, to Wellsworth's secret society, the Order of Black Hollow Lane. Emmy can't help but think that the Order had something to do with her dad's disappearance, and that there may be more than just dark secrets in the halls of Wellsworth. Alright, this one I noticed because of the author. It's by Amanda Foody, who I really enjoy her YA mystery series. Anyway, this one is Wilder Lore, #1, The Accidental Apprentice. So we've got some kids riding a large forest creature that looks like a wolf. Is it really a wolf? I don't know. Let's see. The last thing Barclay Thorne ever wanted was an adventure. Thankfully, as an apprentice to the town's mushroom farmer, Barclay needed only work hard and follow the rules to one day become the head mushroom farmer himself. But then Barclay accidentally breaks in his town's most sacred rule, never ever stray into the woods, for within the woods lurk vicious magical beasts. To Barclay's horror, he faces a fate far worse than being eaten. He unwittingly bonds with a beast and is run out of town by an angry mob. Determined to break this bond and return home, Barclay journeys to find the mysterious town of Lore Keepers, people who have also bonded with beasts and share their powers. But after making new friends, entering a dangerous apprenticeship exam, and even facing the legendary beasts of the woods, Barclay must make a difficult choice: return to the home and rules he's always known, or embrace the adventure awaiting him. And he just wanted to be a mushroom farmer. Alright, so here is The Wretched Water Park. This is by Kirsten White, as I said, and it's the first in a mystery series. Sinister Summer, I think, is the name of the series. And I don't know if you noticed, but this is water slide. The water is black, which is going to play into this. So the back cover says, can Theo and Alexander solve a most mysterious mystery? Meet the sinister Winterbottoms, brave Theo and her timid twin Alexander and their older sister Will. They're stuck for the summer with their strange aunt Sophronia. When their aunt suggests they visit the Fathoms of Fun water park, they agree, but the park is even stranger than Aunt Sophronia. The water slides look like gray gargoyle tongues, the employees wear creepy black dresses, and suspicious goo is seeping into the wave pool. Something mysterious is happening, and it's up to the twins to get to the bottom of it, but are Theo and Alexander out of their depth? I think something happens to their older sister while they're there, if I remember right from... I heard about it in a book training that I did quite a few months ago, and I think that's what the presenter told us. And next we have Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun by Tola Okogwu. I'm so sorry for my slaughtering of pronunciation. Look at her hair. Onyeka has a lot of hair. The kind that makes strangers stop in the street and her peers whisper behind her back. At least she has Cheyenne, her best friend, who couldn't care less what other people think. Still, Onyeka has always felt insecure about her vibrant curls, until the day Cheyenne almost drowns and Onyeka's hair takes on a life of its own, inexplicably pulling Cheyenne from the water. At home, Onyeka's mother tells her the shocking truth. Onyeka's psychokinetic powers make her a Solari, one of a secret group of people with superpowers unique to Nigeria. Her mother quickly whisks her off to the Academy of the Sun, a school in Nigeria where Solari are trained. But Onyeka and her new friends at the Academy soon have to put their powers to the test as they find themselves caught up in an epic battle, one that puts the future of all Solari at risk. And now we go to the YA books that I got at this Barnes & Noble. Did I tell you which one I went to? It was in Layton. Okay. So this is a book by Terry J. Benton Walker, and it is Blood Debts. It's set in New Orleans. And this says, 30 years ago, a young woman was murdered and her family was lynched in New Orleans. And New Orleans saw the greatest magical massacre in its history. In the days that followed, a throne was stolen from a queen. On the anniversary of these brutal events, Clement and Christina Trudeau, the 16-year-old twin heirs to the powerful, magical, and dethroned family, are mourning their father and caring for their sick mother. Until by chance they discover their mother isn't sick. She's cursed. Cursed by someone on the very magical council their family used to rule. Someone who will come for them next. Christina, once a talented and dedicated practitioner of generational magic, has given up magic for good. An ancient spell that is what killed their father, and she was the one who cast it. For Clement, magic is his lifeline, a distraction from his anger and pain, even better than the random guys he hooks up with. Christina and Clement used to be each other's most trusted confidant and friend. Now they barely speak. But if they have any hope of discovering who is coming after their family, they'll have to find a way to trust each other and their family's magic, all while solving the decades-old murder that sparked the still rising tensions between the city's magical and non-magical communities. And if they don't succeed, New Orleans may see another massacre or worse. All right, I'm going to put my wrist brace back on. I had taken it off for a couple minutes because, I mean, even though it's helping to stabilize, it's still not comfortable to wear. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll be okay. Not helping. Not helping to have it off. All right. Our next book is The Love Match by Priyanka Taslim. I'll show you the cover again. It's a cute illustration. Zara Khan is basically Bangladeshi royalty, but being a princess doesn't pay the bills in Paterson, New Jersey. While Zara's plans for financial security this summer involve working long hours at Chai Ho and saving up for college writing courses, Emma is convinced that all Zara needs is good match Jane Austen style. Enter Haroon Iman, who's wealthy, devastatingly handsome, and aloof. As soon as Zara meets him, she knows it's a bad match. It's nothing like the connection she has with Naeem Akhtar, the new dishwasher at the tea shop, who just gets Zara in the way no one else has before. So when Zara finds out that Haroon is as uninterested in this match as she is, they decide to slowly sabotage their parents' plans. And for once in Zara's life, she can have her rasamalai and eat it too, dating Haroon and keeping Amma happy while catching real feelings for Naeem. But life and boys can be more complicated than Zara realizes. With her feelings all mixed up, Zara discovers that sometimes being a good Bengali kid can be a royal pain. Okay, so it says Jane Austen style. So is Haroon like Mr. Darcy and Naeem like Mr. Wickham? Is that what's going on here? I don't know. Either way, it sounds like a fun story. So while at this Barnes & Noble, I noticed there were two different books that had like girls' faces and bird wings on them. I only picked one of them to buy, but I thought it was interesting that like there was two. Anyway, this is The Family Fortuna by Lindsay Eager. Beaked, feathered, monstrous. Avita was born to be a star. Her circus tent sells out nightly, and every performance incites blood-curdling screams. She's the most lucrative act from Texas to Tacoma, the crown jewel of the family Fortuna. Avita feeds on the fear, the screams, the gasps, when a handsome young artist is commissioned to create new posters of the performers, Avita is appalled by his rendering of Bird Girl. Is that truly all she is? A hideous monster, all sharp beak and razor teeth, obsidian eyes and ruffled feathers? Avita's ready to be more, but her father, Arturo Fortuna, proprietor and ringmaster of the family Fortuna, won't give up his most popular attraction without a fight. And Avita's not the only one clamoring to be released from Arturo's manipulative cage. Her sister, her brother, and even her mother are all tired of sacrificing everything for Arturo's ambitions and his craving for cash. Will their fragile family ties survive the tension of a circus showdown? I like some good circusy vibes in a book, and this sounds very intriguing. Like, it's not just a boss that they're fighting against, it's their father, and that's way more complicated. That's gonna be very intriguing, I think. Okay, so this is the last Barnes & Noble book, but not the last book in this haul. This is Queen Bee by Amelie Howard. Lady Ela Dalby knows the exact day her life was forever changed, the 5th of June 1814, when her best friend Poppy betrayed her without qualm over a boy, Lord Keston Osborne, heir to the Duke of Harbridge. She was sent away in disgrace, her reputation ruined. Nearly 3 years later, 18-year-old Ela is consumed with bitterness and a strong desire for revenge. Her enemy is quickly joining the creme de la creme of high society while she withers away in the English countryside. With an audacious plan to settle the score, Ela disguises herself as a mysterious heiress and infiltrates London's elite. But when she reunites with the only boy she's ever loved, she begins to question whether vengeance is still her greatest desire. In this complicated game of real-life chess, Ela must choose her next move. Will she bring down the queen or capture the king's heart? Alright, so after I left that Barnes & Noble in Layton, I went to Michael's where I hurt my wrist, and then I wanted to go get this stabilizer thingy and some pain medicine, so I went to Target, which was right there in the same little shopping area. And, you know, Target has books for reduced prices, oftentimes, and I wandered into the book section before I left, because why not? Anyway, I picked up 2 more books. So, this first one is Pilar Ramirez and the Escape from Zaffa by Julian Randall. Both of these are middle grade books. And this one says, 12-year-old Pilar Violeta Perp Ramirez's world is changing, and she doesn't care for it one bit. Her Chicago neighborhood is gentrifying, and her chores have doubled since her sister Lorena left for college. The only constant is Abuela and Mommy's code of silence around her cousin Natasha, who vanished in the Dominican Republic 50 years ago during the Trujillo dictatorship. When Pilar hears that Lorena's professor studies such disappearances, she hops on the next train to dig deeper into her family's mystery. After snooping around the professor's empty office, she discovers a folder with her cousin's name on it and gets sucked into the blank page within. She lands on Zaffa, an island swarming with coconut-shaped demons and butterfly shapeshifters, where her cousin is being held captive in a sinister, magical prison. Pilar will have to go toe-to-toe with the fearsome Dominican boogeyman El Cuco if she has any hope of freeing Natasha and getting back home. So this kind of feels like if Robin Williams' character in Jumanji that got sucked into the jungle, like instead of coming back out of the game years and years later, he was still there and the kids went and saved him. Like, that's kind of the vibes that this one's giving me, which sounds like a whole lot of fun. We have now reached the last book in this haul, and you're probably going, thank goodness. This one first caught my eye because of the author, and then it just seemed really cute. So this is by Angie Thomas, the author of The Hate You Give, On the Come Up, lots of great realistic fiction books in the YA age range. Now this is middle grade and it definitely is not realistic fiction. So let's take a look at this. Nick Blake and the Remarkables, The Manifester Prophecy. So this has got to be the beginning of a new series. And the synopsis says, it's not easy being a remarkable in the unremarkable world. Some things are cool, like getting a pet hellhound for your 12th birthday. Others not so much, like not being trusted to learn magic because you might use it to take revenge on an annoying neighbor. Who would do that? All Nick Blake wants is to be a powerful manifestor like her dad, but before she has the chance to convince him to teach her the gift, a series of shocking revelations and terrifying events launch Nick and 2 friends on a hunt for a powerful magical tool she's never heard of to save her father from imprisonment for a crime she refuses to believe he committed. So there we go. That is our last book of this haul. And I clearly did not need to buy any books because I have plenty to read, but I did anyway. As my friend Andrea will tell me, you weren't just buying books, you were rescuing them from their sad lives on the shelves of that bookstore, and then you get to pass them along to children who live in a town that is 2 hours away from an actual bookstore. I'm doing the good work. If only I had a camera that didn't freak out on me all the time. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of the books, but please no spoilers, be kind, and have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.